Kumusta aking mga kaibigan? Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Singer Dad Reacts. My name is Josh, and I'm here to do another reaction. And what I did is I looked through all of your comments. I found a cool website that allows me to actually search through all of my comments from all my videos. And so I can go in there and look for specific artists and kind of see what your requests are for different artists and see what the volume is and how many have requested different new artists. And one of the ones that was consistently requested by many of you across the board was Katrina Velarde. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But all of you just had really impressive things to say about her. And so I wanted to and then I started looking at, okay, what songs were requested most for Katrina? And the one that was requested the most was the one I'm reacting to today, Go the Distance. So the other thing I did is I went back and I watched the Michael Bolton video of from Hercules, of course, for the song. I used to listen to him actually when I was a teenager, and so it was cool to go back and listen to him again. I like his voice a lot. So excited to hear her take on it. Sounds like she's pretty amazing, and I've had nothing but good experiences for the artists that I've reacted to from the Wish Bus, so excited about that. So let's dive right in with the lyrics here. So, Go the Distance, written by David Zippel and Alan Menken. This was part of that whole Disney world when they were writing for Hercules, of course. And the lyrics are, I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero's welcome would be waiting for me, where the crowds would cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying this is where I'm meant to be. I'll be there someday, I can go the distance. I will find my way if I can be strong. I know every mile would be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong. Down an unknown road to embrace my fate. Though that road may wander, it will lead me to you. And 1,000 years will be worth the wait. It might take a lifetime, but somehow I'll see it through. And I won't look back. I can go the distance, and I'll stay on track. No, I won't accept defeat. It's an uphill slope. But I won't lose hope till I go the distance, and my journey is complete. Oh yeah. But to look beyond the glory is the hardest part, for a hero's strength is measured by his heart. Like a shooting star, I will go the distance. I will search the world. I will face its harms. I don't care how far. I can go the distance, till I find my hero's welcome waiting in your arms. And it repeats itself. It's very inspiring, very encouraging, hope-inspiring. I can go the distance. I will find my way if I can be strong. It's a message that we need to hear now, and it's similar actually to my last reaction of Dimash and the message of his song as well. And I won't look back. I can go the distance. I'll stay on track. There are a lot of things in here that are really relevant to what many of us are facing with some of the challenges with what's going on in the world, with COVID and some of these other things that are going on, and some of the other challenges we face by losing loved ones or job challenges or family challenges, whatever those things are. I like the message that says, don't give up, just take it day by day. Don't look back and look for the good things that are in your life and keep trying. I will face its harms. I will face the world's harms. I can go the distance. So I encourage all of us to keep that in mind in our daily lives and strive for that in the way we approach our challenges and the things that we take on in our lives and our daily walk. And let's listen for the meaning that comes through in Katrina's performance of this. I'm sure she'll bring it. All right, so this is Katrina Velarde, Go the Distance, the highest version. By the way, if you're new to my channel or if you haven't already, if you could please subscribe, if you could click on the notification bell there, I would appreciate it. It really helps to support the channel, and I want to continue to be able to do this and provide these reactions for you in my analysis.
Wish 1075.
I have often dreamed of a far-off place
Wow.
where a hero's welcome will be waiting for me, where the crowd will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be.
Wow. I feel like things are kind of headed the same way they do with Sohyang, right? Where it's like she starts out a lot of her songs the same way, where it's just this kind of soft, understated power and just really pure tone, and really, I can tell already she's got really good control. She's not even trying at this point as far as vocally. But you can tell already that she has really good control. She can probably do runs really well, just from what I heard in those early phrases. But yeah, her tone is great. It's very unique. I like it though. I'm going to go back. I like to go back a little bit when I pause. Let's see.
Voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be.
Hear that?
I'll be there someday. I can go the distance and I'll find my way.
Nice.
If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong.
She's got good breath control.
Down an unknown road to embrace my fate. Though the road may wander, it will lead me to you, and 1,000 dreams would be worth my wait. It may take a lifetime, but somehow I see it through. And I won't look back. I can go the distance, and I'll stay on track.
Wow, she's adding more power now.
I won't accept defeat. It's an uphill slope, but I won't lose hope.
I like those.
I go the distance, and my journey is complete.
Feels like she's gonna just start going for it right here.
But to look beyond the glory is the hardest part. For a hero's strength is measured by his
Okay. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that again. I don't think it's whistle. It sounds a little too powerful to be whistle. It sounds like it's more like in her head voice, but I'll have to go back and listen again real quick. But yeah, she can turn it on if she wants to and really start going for it. I mean, you can tell that she's just has that capability. I like the tone of her voice, though. It's really one of the things you always want to have as a vocalist and as a performer is a unique timbre to your voice, something where if people hear your voice, they're like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. And I feel like she has that with just the unique timbre of her voice, where if you heard her, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's Katrina. So yeah, and she's got really good tone, similar to Sohyang, right? I mean, they both have really good tone. It's always like right on the pitch. I've talked about this before, right? So I'll use this hand so you can see it better. There's a kind of a measurement that you have with tone, where say this is what you see here between these two fingers represents a note on the piano, for instance, right? And so when a singer is singing that note, there's a measurement that kind of says, okay, well, where are they at on the spectrum? If they're kind of a little bit on the flat side, then they might be kind of down here, right? On the lower part of that, what is considered that tone or that note. Sohyang is right up here. I mean, she's right on that tone. She's on the, 90% or whatever, as far as close to being on that tone. So it's almost like when someone has perfect pitch, for instance, if you've been around someone that has perfect pitch, you can basically go on you can say sing middle C, and they'll sing it, and then you go on a keyboard, for instance, electronic keyboard, and play that, and it'll be dead on to what is on the electronic keyboard. So that's kind of what you're dealing with perfect pitch. So with singers like this, with Katrina, Sohyang, and Dimash, I believe even has perfect pitch, I believe. But they're going to be really close, if not dead on the pitch on every note. And that's what I'm picking up from her as well, which is really impressive, especially when she's sitting down like this. It's not easy to give that full support and sing to your potential when you're sitting down. I'm still not sure. It doesn't sound like whistle. I think it's head voice.
Wish Cruiser on Wish 107.5.
Like a shooting star.
Nice.
I can go the distance. I will search the world.
Ooh.
I will face in time. I don't care how far. I can go the distance till I find my
That's awesome. Wow. Oh, that's cool. Wow, breath control. Oof, I gotta go back. Sorry, guys. That was quite an ending. She just blew it out of the park right there. And again, I don't think we're seeing like the top end of what she can do on this little phrase at the end here. I feel like she can still, it's kind of like with Sohyang, right? You always feel like she could probably go higher there. But she's just putting what what she can into the song and not trying to just, show off and do a bunch of vocal gymnastics, right? So, and that's where there's a balance when you're a performer and you have to kind of find that balance. Okay, how much do I embellish the notes? How much, do I do as far as runs? How high am I going to go when I belt out and do little riffs and things like that? So you kind of have to decide that going in and find the best balance where you're still bringing the power and the feeling of the song and not distracting from that with all the embellishments you're adding. Because really when it comes down to it, the power of the song comes through in how much you sing from the heart and not with technical prowess, right? You can still sing with your heart and add technical prowess in there, but it all has to come from the right place where you're reaching out with what's inside you to share the message of the song, to tell the story, and the runs and riffs are a natural product of that effort, right? And that's So-Young is a prime example of that if you watch her perform. She does a lot of technical things with the runs and the different things, but you never feel like she's just out there just kind of, showing off or whatever. There's always that just feeling of sincerity and genuineness in her performance. And I get the same feeling from Katrina. Let me go back here. And notice how through this whole section where she's kind of up, she's got a nice open mouth, and you can see like her cheeks are raised up, which lifts the soft palate and allows that sound to come through with more power and resonance. We've talked about that before, right? So these are good habits. See? Yeah, you can kind of see her mouth is open. And I think, her tongue is forward. That's another thing that you learn when you get classically trained, is to kind of keep that tongue forward as much as you can, kind of touching the back of the bottom teeth. Because as soon as you start pushing that tongue to the back, then that pushes the sound back, and it's almost kind of the concept of a water hose. When you push on a water hose, you're blocking the water flow coming through. So when your tongue goes back in there, it can do the same thing to the sound. It can kind of choke it back and change how it sounds also. Okay, let's go one more here. You hear the resonance there? Ooh. Oh. Yeah, she's just... Wow. Yeah, so that was pretty amazing. She's definitely got a voice. I'm excited to hear more from her and to kind of hear the other one that came up that you guys were requesting for her was Never Enough. She has a take on it, so I wanted to kind of listen to that one eventually and compare her performance to like Morissette and of course So-Young, and of course the original. Yeah, so she's amazing. She is really good. Got a lot of really good control, and she's got a great range. Because that song it covers a pretty big range. You start out and it's kind of low, and then toward the end she really belted it out and had some pretty high notes. So that was really impressive. Yeah, so it was great. There were a lot of good Filipino singers, and that's really cool. It makes me kind of curious about the culture of the Filipino people, and if there's just a lot of singing that goes on within the culture and by the people in general in that part of the world. And so if any of you have any comments on that, or you're from that part of the world, or have any knowledge of that, I would be interested to learn more about kind of where they learn to sing with such power, and how much that's part of the culture, right? Yeah, so let me know what other Katrina songs you would like for me to react to. Like I said, the two that came up, I think there was a Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Never Enough. But if there are more beyond that you're like, oh no, Josh, you need to do this one, please put those in the comments. And then I've said this before, but the way you can kind of vote within the comments is if someone puts in the comment a song that you would like me to react to, then you can like it. And so if I see one of those comments with a specific song suggestion, and then there are like 20 likes on that particular comment, then I know, oh, okay, yeah, there's a bunch of people that want that particular song and that reaction. So that helps me when you do that. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and end my reaction with the same thing that I do with every reaction, and that is to tell each of you that you are loved, you are special, and you can accomplish your dreams. And that especially fits in with the message of today's song. So always keep that in mind. And I hope that each of you is healthy and happy, and that you are feeling loved by the people around you. If you're not, and if you're having challenges and really having a tough time, I hope that our community can kind of come together, and through the experiences you have here on my channel, you can be lifted and inspired and have somewhat of an escape from that world. That's my hope. But I hope that you know that I'm reaching out across the internet. And if I was there, I would give you a hug and tell you it's going to be okay. And I would try to be your friend. And hopefully you sense that. But yeah, like I said before, I would appreciate it if you haven't already, if you could please subscribe. Click on that notification bell there, and come back for more. As I said, I'm going to be doing more reactions, so if you'll notice, this one came not too long after my last reaction, so I'm trying to do more of that. I was talking with my son the other day, and I'm looking at actually, hopefully, rolling out some kind of schedule. So you guys can actually comment on that, but I'm looking at like maybe 2 reactions a week to start out with, and kind of work to 3 or so eventually. Start out with 2, so maybe like Tuesday and Saturday, for instance, at 8 o'clock in the evening, and that would be Mountain Time, because that's what time zone I'm in. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. So if that kind of schedule works for you, or if you have other suggestions or preferences, let me know on that, and I'll try to factor that in as I figure out what I'm going to do going forward. Anyway, so again, thank you for all of your support, and you all take care.